Hey friends, welcome back. It's Sarge, your favorite YouTube therapist. Today we're going to talk a little bit about dads. And if you're watching this as a dad, happy Father's Day. If you're watching this for somebody who's having some mental health issues around your relationship with your dad, pay attention. We're going to try to help you with that. Stay with me now. All right, happy Father's Day weekend. I hope everybody out there is having a great week so far. Today we're just going to talk a little bit about mental health and the relationship between dads and their families. So let's hit on a couple different topics on here. So stay with me to the very end, because if it doesn't seem like I'm hitting on something that you wanted, we might get to it. So just stay with me. So the first thing I want to say is that as a therapist who's been in the field for over 25 years, I've certainly have worked with a lot of teenagers over that time span who have had some issues with their relationship with their dad. Now, if you are a male and you are having relationship issues with your dad, you guys are butting heads a lot. First thing I want you to know is it's very, very normal, especially when you start to hit puberty and to the age of whenever you decide to, presumably move out of the house. This happens in the animal kingdom as well. Like when the males in the animal kingdom reach a certain age, it's very, very common for most species for them to be either driven out of the house or for the oldest male in that flock or that herd to challenge the lead male for leadership role in that society, right? So that's very, very normal. In almost all cases, you're going to work through it. And when you become an adult and you move on, your relationship with your father is probably going to be okay, right? But that is not an excuse to continue to, just like get into these shouting matches or worse, which I know sometimes it can get worse. So continue to work on that. And just remember that a father's love is very, very special. Dads tend to be very, very protective, but they also, they try to use their wisdom for their life experiences to prevent you from having to learn some of those hard lessons in life that they had to learn. So sometimes the conflict is around those issues. There's generational stuff that comes into it, and you may be thinking, well, my dad's from a different generation, he's not going to understand. And to some extent, yes, that is true, but also don't completely discount them. And remember, if you work on your skills of listening and communicating with effectiveness and being, appropriate with how you express yourself, not resorting to shouting or, language that's going to start to escalate things, then that's going to serve you in all areas of your life, right? Like when you move on to the business world and your whatever profession you decide to do, you're going to deal with people that you have some conflict with, and it's good to establish those skills. Now, for the women, the young ladies that are listening, if you're having some issues around your dad, if maybe you're not getting the attention that you're needing from him, the best thing I could say is that try to catch your dad at a time when you can get his attention and just say, I want to have a heart-to-heart talk. Tell them how much they mean to you, how important that relationship is with you, and that you want to spend more time with him one-on-one, right? It can be really, really important. And for dads out there, this is really, really important. Keep listening now for a second. For your kids, right? Like I know sometimes relationships don't work out, and what you really need to be doing is never, ever, please never badmouth their mother in front of the kids, and try to keep conflict with their mother away from them as much as you can. Try not to do it when they're around, right? Because that models a lot of bad things, especially if you're not able to argue effectively, if there's some relationship problems there and you guys just aren't able to argue effectively and with, good interpersonal skills, then you definitely want to try to keep that away from your kids, because they're learning by watching you and the mom, right? So if you are very good at this, then that's great, because you're modeling how to have disagreements and how to resolve them in great ways. Above and beyond all that is super, super important for dads to spend time with their kids. I know that there's like this role that dads have where we have to be the provider, right? And we're putting in a lot of hours, right? Like this is all, of course this is stereotypical. I know there's exceptions to this. Don't get hung up on the exceptions. We're just having a conversation here. But in a lot of cases, that's a role that the male in a household will take on, is they want to be the provider. And maybe they're putting in 60 hours a week. Maybe they're putting in 80 hours a week, right? So Understood. Get all that. And, my dad was in one of those situations where he was working a lot of hours to make sure that we had a lot of good opportunities. I'm so grateful for all of that. But also remember that you want to make sure you're getting a lot of good time with each of the kids, not just as a family unit, which is also super important, but also one-on-one with each kid. And I was very blessed that my dad did do that with me. We had all kinds of great experiences going to baseball games together, camping, and I really cherish all of those great moments that I had with my dad. And yeah, when I was a teenager, we certainly had our share of conflict. We worked through it and we get along great as adults. So, all right, let's leave it at that. We hit on a couple big topics there. We hit on 3 big topics there. If you're a dad out there that's listening, I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day weekend. If you're, one more thing. If you're a child out there, or if you're an adult out there that does not have a great relationship with your dad, so number one, take a step back, just kind of contemplate. If you are in a family where some of the people in your family have made some really bad choices and it's not good for you to be around them, 100% support that, right? So we have an expression in the field that we sometimes use, which is you have to save yourself. So you don't always have to have a relationship with your family if that's not good for you and if that person's not working on it, right? For the rest of you, if you're, if there's just some conflict that's gone on in the past, but it's not like anything serious, they're not making a lot of bad choices, they're not exposing you to things that you don't need to be exposed to, then consider working on that relationship, right? Just reach out to them. If you haven't done so in a while, maybe you reach out to them on Father's Day and just say, hey, I've been thinking about you, been thinking about our relationship. I was wondering if you wanted to get together and talk about it a little bit, all right? Hey, everybody, I hope you're having a great week, and I hope this reaches some people out there that need to hear the message. I hope it's helpful. And again, I know everybody's family situations are different, so if this doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. We're going to have a lot more topics, and we're going to talk about more family relationships in the future. Please take good care of yourself. Your mental health matters.